if you look at various periods since 1949, the risk and threat factor to Taiwan has waxed and waned according to political developments in China. We know that in the 1950s, the military confrontation was quite acute. That figured with the politics of the time. Less known is that around the transition from Jiang Zemin to Hu Jintao in China, there was also a sharp uptick in tension. And the Taiwan issue has always been one with which mainland politicians and factions are apt to use in their own domestic struggles. We see this again and again in authoritarian countries in recent decades, that an external cause of no immediate existential concern to the state becomes a very strong political bargaining tool among factions. I think that's the risk that certainly in recent months, I would correlate the risk to Taiwan, the risk of military action, with any risk to the existing Chinese political leadership.
Moving to the economy, perhaps a few years ago, we could say that Xi Jinping accelerated economic growth while diminishing political freedoms, but now it seems that he has choked economic growth as well. In a Times article that you wrote last year, you said that China may be the first great power that grows old before it grows rich.
The man who opened up southern China and persuaded Deng Xiaoping to allow economic reform was Xi Jinping's own father, Xi Zhongxun, who was a reformer. And although he was a dedicated communist and a Marxist-Leninist, he certainly saw the crying need for the Chinese people to be given the chance to exercise their talents and their work ethic and their educational skills to build the economy. And what Xi Zhongxun unleashed in Guangdong changed the world. Now, his son, Xi Jinping, seems to have taken the view that opening up is fine, but reform is not. And China under Xi Jinping is seeking to redraw the boundaries. We've seen that Chinese expression in Putonghua, that the state advances and the private recedes. Now, is that stifling economic growth? It's certainly changing the pattern of economic growth, but what is stifling economic growth at present is zero COVID. Make no mistake about it, there is a comparison as to why China might grow old before it grows rich, which is that zero COVID and the one-child policy are both examples of severe government control brought to bear on a problem.